Hello and welcome to Realm's Edge Gaming. In this episode, I thought we could take a look at the latest article that's dropped on Warhammer Community, whereby they're looking at a new model every Monday to do with the Broken Realms narrative arc. As always, if you've not subscribed to the channel, if you could do so, that would be amazing. And if you could drop a like below, that would be much appreciated too. So, this article I thought was absolutely brilliant. For those of you that no, I collected back in the Warhammer world that was the Warhammer the Wood Elves, and I still have kind of kept a friendly eye on proceedings for the Sylvaneth too. So the article kind of starts off and it's kind of really sets the tone. Just when you thought the mortal realms had reached the pinnacle of strangeness, along comes a floating tree spirit with a magical war flute. And you know what? That pretty much sums it up. So this is the model that they released, and it is a Warsong Revenant. And I just think it's absolutely brilliant. It was from the silhouette. I've got to be honest. I wasn't 100% sold. I know people were saying it was going to be Sylvaneth. I wasn't entirely sure because the silhouette of it was kind of so strange, so odd that I thought it could kind of go in a number of different directions. But it's a really kind of cool looking model, and definitely not something we've seen before really from the Sylvaneth range. I know we've got the Tree Spite Revenants, but this kind of has got almost a, with the arc on the top, it kind of reminded me of the Lumineth Scenari Cathalar model, the one that was kind of taking all the sadness away, or some of the Lumineth models with that kind of arc there. It actually looks to be quite a tall model, and that I'm not entirely sure, but seems to be quite a wide base as well. And then we've got that kind of cloak of leaves there. It kind of reminded me of the Eidolon of Mathlan for the Ideneth, who've got the the kind of watery cloak, though this one's kind of out of leaves. And then I took a minute actually trying to find the character's legs. I can see them there now with the kind of wooden bark effect. But it looks as though the character is quite high off the ground, again, making me think that actually it's going to be quite quite an imposing model there. And if you watch the video, I won't play it, but we will talk about it in a moment. It does give you a kind of 360 spin, and it's quite slow, which is really good because you can see that the cloak is attached to one of the horns there of the skull. Now, I am not too sure what skull that belongs to, what kind of beast it was from, whether or not we'll find out in the story, or if it would be kind of like a generic one. But it kind of really did give it an imposing feel. Another thing that is maybe slightly clearer on the video is the fact that the miniature has actually got a sword. You can see the blade there, but when you do the 360 spin, there is a sword on the back as well. So let's take a look at the video. I'm not going to play it, but we will kind of talk about it. Because in the video, it is Alarielle who's speaking, and it seems as though she's addressing this Warsong Revenant. You can kind of see in the artwork there that the legs are a little bit more defined than on the pictures. But Alarielle basically says, "One day we will rest, and we will bask in what we have made for the sake of all. For now, go and take my song with you. Alarielle, the Ever Queen." So it's as though she's addressing this Warsong Revenant, who I imagine will be kind of a named character in the Broken Realms book in which they appear. And my kind of prediction for this is that they will be in the Kragnos book. We already know that we're getting another, a few models in the Kragnos book. So, for example, we're going to get Lord Croak, we'll get the Vendensts. I think Dexessa and Sinessa, the Slaneshi models, will be in there. And I would like to imagine that we'll get the Sylvaneth one as well, because it sounds as though, a lot of the kind of Kragnos thing is maybe building up to, having the Sylvaneth being involved too. But we will have to wait and see. Maybe you think it will come from a different Broken Realms book. I'd kind of like to get your opinion on that too. But here we go. So it says, "In the upheaval caused by the events of the Broken Realms saga, Alarielle has been hard at work scouring Gairan, the realm of life, from the taint of chaos. When the Everqueen sings a song of cleansing at the Oak of Ages Past, something entirely new springs from the roots. And I'm kind of hopeful that this will be the start of a kind of refreshed Sylvaneth range, because I really like the models that they've got at the moment, but it would be amazing if they could kind of give a bit more scope for them too. I've said it on a number of videos. I really would like to see the Wanderers return. Whether or not that will happen, I'm not entirely sure. But it's cool there with the little soul pods that we've seen on the kind of Wardroth Beetle and some of the Kernoth Hunters too. And I have to say, that rumour engine there with that kind of little, the kind of spite, the little sprite there, did make me think it was going to be a 40k thing. So it was a real pleasant surprise when it was the Age of Sigmar. But all in all, I think it's a really cool model, as the article kind of goes on to say. There's loads of different textures there. We've got wood, we've got leaves, there's some metal, we've got kind of eggshell, kind of a spirited ethereal effect, we've got bark. There's really kind of loads going on there. It goes on to say that floating on thermals of sheer magic, Warsong Revenants play a spirit song which has the power to cause the land itself to come alive. The music is a balm to the Sylvaneth and the promise of vengeance to their enemies. The Warsong Revenants can summon a malicious swarm of spites to attack nearby enemies. And I for one can't wait to see what the rules are going to be for this model, because I think it's going to be a really, really interesting addition to any Sylvaneth army. And hopefully, if the kind of video is saying about Alariel, take my song, hopefully it's going to be kind of a song for Alariel. It's going to be really potent, powerful, and give, in my opinion, a much needed boost to the Sylvaneth. Because at the moment, I think, whilst they're a really good army, but if you've been kind of watching the Warhammer Weekly episodes on YouTube, you'll see that when they did the one about skill, and in various other articles too, Sylvaneth aren't faring particularly well in the kind of tournament competitive play scene. Not to say, that I always think they're a really kind of fun army and to look at as well. And, winning isn't kind of, at least in my opinion, the kind of main reason for playing, and, the narrative's important and to have fun too. But it was always nice to kind of feel like, you are in with a chance as well. The article kind of finishes off by saying, we can't tell you everything about the Warsong Revenant just yet, but it's a fair bet that you'll want some Sylvaneth to be within earshot of their magical melody. If you're not yet growing an army of them, the Start Collecting book's a great place to start. So, what do you think, guys? Are you impressed with the new model here? Is it something that interests you? Will you be picking one up as a painting project? And what do you think? Do you reckon this is kind of the start of a wider Sylvaneth expansion? Or do you think we're going to see some other factions get some focus on beforehand? Finally, I'd love to get your opinion in which book you think this model will kind of appear in. So far, we know we've got Kragnos. I do think we're going to get a couple more Broken Realms books coming out, before the arrival of Age of Sigmar 3.0, but we will have to wait and see. As always, I've really enjoyed speaking with you. I love the model, really excited for this one, and I hope you're kind of as enthusiastic for it as well. I hope you're pleased with this one too. So thanks for joining me once again. Really looking forward to chatting with you all in the comments, and I'm sure, as always, we'll speak soon. Thanks very much, and bye-bye.